Welcome to your first demo video on how to use Adobe Premiere. We're going to use this so that you guys can learn how to make a kinetoscope style film, okay, similar to one that I produce here for our demo project. For this project, we're going to be working with the file that you guys shot in class. We're going to set up our first project in Adobe Premiere, and then we're going to bring footage into that project. After we bring the footage in, we're going to do a little trimming to that project. We're going to add a couple of effects like black and white and a little bit of flicker. We're going to wrap it all up by throwing some titles in the beginning of the track, and then finally we're going to export it and send it out for everybody to use. All right, so this is how it's all going to work. Okay, I already opened up Adobe Premiere, and right now I'm on the home screen in Adobe Premiere. Nothing is really going to show up for you here, but over on the left hand side you've got this button that says New Project. So I'm going to go ahead and click on New Project here because I want to start a new project. Now it's always a good idea to give these a name, so I'm always going to give this my last name underscore the name of the project, which would be, we could call this Kine Group. Down below here where it says location, I want to open this up and I want to choose a logical location, which when I expand this right here, I would suggest would be your folder on your desktop that we created earlier called your last name. So mine's Mr. Heimerdinger, and this is for both P4 and P6. And I went ahead and I already created a folder called Kinetoscope. Okay, and in this folder I also have the video file I created, which right now is just labeled MVI_7423. Okay, but I got all that where it needs to be. I'm going to go ahead and just go back to this Kinetoscope folder. I'm going to select it, and so now when I need to come back to this next week and work on the project, I know where it's saved. I'm going to go ahead and click Create. Okay, if it asks you to access files, you are going to allow that it has access to files just about anywhere it needs to find them. Okay, the next screen that comes up here after we set up that project is what we call the import screen. Okay, it's going to give you a lot of demo material, and if you ever want to come in later and play with this demo material, it's a pretty cool collection of shots. But what you're going to do is you're going to navigate to where your footage is. So for example, my footage is on the desktop, so I'm going to click on desktop. It's going to show me desktop folders here. So I have Mr. Heimerdinger, P4 and 6. I'm going to open up that. I have my Kinetoscope folder, and in here I've got my MVI7423 clip. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and I'm going to click Import. Okay. Immediately we're going to make our way over to the Adobe Premiere Pro interface. Okay, and there's going to be a lot of little pop-up windows that are going to come up and try and teach you things and show you how to use new things, and we'll get to all that eventually, but this is really a great interface. Okay, we've got a lot of different things going on here, and one of the first things I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you move on over to this whole section right here that they call the Learn section, and we actually don't need this section to show up. So what we're going to do is go to the top here, we're going to click on this pancake stack, and we're going to say that we want to close the panel. Okay, there we go, and it's going to just go ahead and open it up so that everything fits the screen nicely. Okay, and at this point we've got some footage that already got dropped into a sequence here. Okay, what I'm going to suggest that we do in the beginning is we just take this footage and we delete it out of the sequence. Okay, you haven't quite learned about all these things yet, but I want to show you how to add things to this before you just work with the default stuff. Okay, so over here in Adobe Premiere, this bottom left hand corner right here is what we call the browser window or the library. Okay, this is where all of our stuff is going to be stored. If I mouse over the top of this, you'll notice that I can scrub my footage. I can take a look at little previews here. This right here is what we call the sequence. This is this actual timeline that we have over here on the right, and it's going to show us where we can build our video project. When I double click on something in the library, it's going to pop up over here in the preview window, okay, or they call this the source window here. And whenever I have things in this timeline right here, they're going to show up in the program window. Okay, so at this point you are ready to get started with the basic operations of Adobe Premiere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click to make sure I've got this footage up here. Okay. There are a couple of ways that I can navigate this. I can drag my mouse back and forth, okay, and I can kind of watch the footage move in rapid succession. But I can also use some keys on the keyboard. I'm going to use the letters J, K, and L here. So if I hit L, things are going to go and start moving forward. If I hit K, it's going to stop. If I hit J, it's going to go backwards. K stops. All right. So at this point, I just want to go ahead and you may have had a little bit of extra footage at the beginning, as I did. So I'm going to back up. I'm going to find a spot using J, K, and L where I want this video clip to start. And it's going to be right about here, right as I line up with the pillar. And when I find that starting point on my keyboard, I'm going to press the letter I. I is for in. Okay? And that's going to establish the beginning of my clip that I'm about to put in the sequence. Okay? When I've established my in point, then I can press L or the space bar to go forward, and my footage is going to begin to play. If I want to speed it up a little bit to get to the end a little bit quicker, I can hit L again to make it all move a little bit faster. Okay? Until I get to the point where I've found the end of my footage. I hit K to stop it. I'm going to press O to set an out point on this, and now I'm going to drag this clip from here into the timeline, and I'm just going to drop it off right here. And now I've pretty much got my basic movie built in this timeline here. I'm going to stop this video right now and make sure you've gotten to this point. And in the next video, I'll show you how to start dressing up this footage a little bit with some filters, with some titles, maybe some speed modifications, a little flicker, all right, all that fun stuff. Okay.